Hey, what's going on? My name is Mike Hobbs, and I'm excited to share with you a breakthrough concept when it actually comes to building wealth or building passive income on the internet. And this concept is earning through Bitcoin. And what I mean by this is, like, there's different ways that you can earn income when you're building a business. You can earn in dollars. You know, that's basically how everyone does right now. Or you can earn now in Bitcoin. And this concept blew my mind when I first, started earning a little bit of money in Bitcoin. Because here's the thing. You can go out there, you can make some sales, and let's say you earn $100 or $200. Let's say you just earned $200. Well, that $200 stays $200, okay? Because you earn those dollars. There's no value increase in it. There's nothing that can happen from that. Well, I remember I earned my first little bit of Bitcoin. It was 0.1, so like a tenth of a Bitcoin, right? It was like 0.1 of a Bitcoin, and that was worth about $200. So I just had this 0.1 Bitcoin sitting in my wallet that I earned, and then about a month later, I logged into my wallet, and that same 0.1 Bitcoin that I earned a month ago was worth $400. And I was like, holy cow, this blew my mind. It was like I earned the 0.1 Bitcoin, and earning 0.1 Bitcoin, this day, and then this day it was worth double, right? And that's the power in earning with Bitcoin. Because if you just earned for that same sale, if I would have earned that same sale in dollars, I would have made $200, and then a month later, it's still worth $200. Whereas this way, I earned in Bitcoin, and in a month, I actually had double my money. So earning in Bitcoin is crazy. And in fact, I got to the point where, I'm getting like 0.2 deposits or whatever per day, 0.3 deposits. And that doesn't sound like a lot. But when you look and you really research what's going on with Bitcoin and where it's going, and actually get some real insight on where it's going, because there's a cap on Bitcoin. There's a $21 million cap. The closer we get to that cap, the more it costs to mine Bitcoin, which drives the price up, and the harder it is to mine Bitcoin, which drives the price up. And as like there's more people using it, that also drives the price up. So, how much does it cost to create a dollar nowadays? Nothing, right? It costs the government nothing to create a dollar. How much does it cost to create a Bitcoin nowadays? It's actually around $1,000 to create one Bitcoin nowadays through Bitcoin mining. So there's actual intrinsic value being put into the marketplace through mining equipment and electricity. So there's actually value in creating a Bitcoin. And I'm super excited about it. You could do your own research on it if you'd like, but this was a killer breakthrough concept that I learned. And when I started earning even that 0.2 a day Bitcoin, that originally was only like, close to like about $400 a day or something like that. And then all of a sudden, Bitcoin went up in value, and that same income, so like my income didn't go down or up or whatever, that same income turns into double, right? And it will be triple and quadruple. And even if my income never goes up, it will go up because of the value of Bitcoin, earning in Bitcoin. So anyway, it's a very amazing breakthrough concept, and I want to introduce you to the company that I'm using to earn in Bitcoin, and it's a completely legitimate company. I went to Vegas. I met the owner in person. They do live events all over the UK. They do live events here in the US. They're very transparent with who they are. They attach their names to the business, which is very important when you're looking into Bitcoin opportunities, because most of them, that go out of business, there's been a bunch that have gone out of business this year alone. But I can tell you right now, every Bitcoin opportunity that went out of business in 2017 all launched after the company I'm going to introduce you to, called USI-Tech. USI-Tech actually officially launched in 2016, and I want to actually turn you over to one of the master distributors in the USA. He's actually in our upline as well. I want to turn you over to him. He's going to explain exactly what USI-Tech is, how we earn in Bitcoin, how you can earn in Bitcoin and make a lot of money on the internet and build wealth through earning in Bitcoin. And I'm really, really excited to introduce you to him. So right now I'm going to turn you over to Dan and Patty Hunt. pay close attention to this and then click on the link below and register for your free account. We'll plug you into our prosperity team. I have a prosperity team. We have a team Facebook group. We have training on how to get started, a fast start training, and we'll get you plugged in. We'll get you making some money, get you making some wealth, and building your long-term wealth over time through Bitcoin. So anyway, listen to Dan and Penny Hunt right now and then register below as soon as it's done. All right, see you guys on the inside.
We found something here with USI-Tech, and we hope that you will take the next 20 minutes to listen to what we have to offer. And when we're done, if you have questions, ask questions, reach out to the person that invited you and find out if our product would be right for you.
So we'd like to start out by asking the question, what if? What if I could show you a way to retire in, say, just 10 years?
Wow.
How about if I could show you a way to retire in 10 years with about $1.4 million? Is that something you'd be interested in? I see everybody out there shaking their heads, yes, this is something that I'd be interested in. And this is just math. This has nothing to do with USI-Tech or the BTC package. Let me show you how this works. What if you started an investment account today with just $5,000? Just $5,000 today. And you could find a vehicle that performed at an average of 4.5% a month. If you did those two things and you paid yourself, how important is it to pay yourself? You know, Tony Robbins talks about it all the time. Put money into yourself. Put money into your freedom fund or whatever you call it, but pay yourself just $100 every month. If you could do those three simple things in just 10 short years, you'd have over $1,400,000.
Wow.
Over $1,400,000. And guys, this is just math. This is an example shown for demonstration purposes only. It has nothing to do with our product itself. It has nothing to do with it. We just like to point out that if you get started today, and if you could do some of those things, you could change your life. You could change your future, and you could get yourself in a situation that is something like we never had before.
Absolutely.
So tonight we're not going to show you just one product that performs at that 4.5% a month, but both of the USI-Tech products, two of them, have consistently performed at over 2.5% a month.
4.5%. And that is our BTC package and our Forex algorithm. Now for tonight's purpose, we are going to focus on our BTC packages. That is going to be our focus. We'll touch a little bit on the Forex algorithm, and if you need more information, certainly reach out to the person that invited you to this broadcast.
Right. So Patty, why don't we get started and tell people a little bit about USI-Tech, who they are, where they came from, and where they're going.
So USI-Tech has been around for over 12 years. It consists of our 4 owners, and they specialize in the development of automated software for the Forex market or the foreign exchange market. Now, the company, like I said, been around for 12 years. We have 4 incredible owners that is really focused on helping people, you know, that could start with, say, $65. I know I said that. I gave it away.
US dollars.
Starting with $65 US dollars.
Wow.
That's the commitment of the company, and I think that's what attracted Dan and I to them.
Now, you know, Patty, I know you were a teacher for 20 years, retired very, very early. I was a professor at Villanova University, so we have a lot of teaching in our background.
Yes.
Right now, what we'd like to do is just talk a little bit about Bitcoin and do some Bitcoin education, just to give people the basics of Bitcoin. So let's go ahead and talk about Bitcoin education, and we're going to start off with, what is Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer digital currency. What does that mean? It's peer-to-peer. Just like the internet is kind of peer-to-peer, there's no main internet. Digital currency, it's from you to me. It's peer-to-peer, okay? And also, it started in, what, about 2009?
Correct.
I can't say the guy's name, Satoshi Nakamoto, who we have no idea who he is, really. He's an anonymous person. And Bitcoin is also anonymous. Now, what does that mean? There's this thing called the blockchain, and the blockchain does log every single transaction that's made with Bitcoin. However, those transactions only have a transaction number attached to them, a hash, okay? They don't have your name attached to them. So it's really kind of anonymous that way. The best part, though, I think, is no middleman fees. I'm going to let you talk about no middleman fees because I know it's your favorite part.
Yes, this is my favorite part. It was just because it was mind-boggling. Our company, Dan and I, needed to send $50,000 to the owners of our company in Germany. And making a long story short, because it took a long time, we went from here, left our bank, and traveled to Germany. And by the time we got done, so our bank had fees, there were fees in between.
Yep.
The owner's bank had fees, something like $700 worth of fees, $700. And if you think about a $50,000 transaction, $700 is still a substantial amount of money.
Right.
And we're going to show you with Bitcoin how it's substantially less.
Now, the next thing we like to talk about is what is a Bitcoin wallet. Now, I think the slides are out of order here, Alex, so you just want to hit it one more time. There you go. What is a Bitcoin wallet? Well, a Bitcoin wallet, we like to think of it as a digital bank or a virtual bank, okay? It's a digital wallet. It's not like your regular wallet, but it could be in your phone. It could be in your computer. It could be on a website out there someplace, and it can also be stored on a little like flash drive type thing to have your Bitcoin offline so somebody couldn't hack it. Again, we like to think of it as a virtual bank. It allows you, a Bitcoin wallet allows you to send and receive Bitcoin from anywhere in the world, from anyone to anyone.
And so if we were going to make that same transaction, sending $50,000 from us to the owner of the company, that $50,000 could happen almost instantly, and the cost would be dollars, literally a few dollars instead of 700.
Now, you know, the next question that everybody asks is, how do I get Bitcoin? So, Patty, why don't you talk to us about how we get Bitcoin?
There are a number of ways to get Bitcoin. First of all, you could buy and sell it through what's called a Bitcoin exchange. And again, these are all done on the computer, all done virtually. There are a lot of Bitcoin exchanges out there.
Right.
You could also purchase Bitcoin at what's an ATM. So there are actually machines popping up all over the U.S. Outside of the U.S., there's a lot of them. But in the U.S., there are ATM machines. You go to the ATM machine, you hold up your phone, and you can exchange dollars for Bitcoin. And some machines go the other way as well. You could also buy Bitcoin from a private seller. You have to be careful. Make sure who you're purchasing it from you could trust, but there are private sellers out there that will sell Bitcoin to you.
Right. Now, the fees when you buy and sell Bitcoin, they range anywhere from 3 to 20%. So, you know, I always say buyer beware. Know who you're buying your Bitcoin from and make sure that you're getting a good price when you buy your Bitcoin. Because again, you know, they really, those fees range from 3 to 20%. We've seen them as high as 19, 20% with some exchanges.
Which is
so
huge.
You want to be very, very careful.
Okay, so that's a little bit of Bitcoin education. And again, as a teacher, I taught high school, and you have all those different levels of students and understanding. Right. For some people, it's complicated, and for others, they get it. There's a lot you could look at on YouTube to understand what Bitcoin is. But I want to explain, before we talk about our product, you don't really need to know the ins and outs of Bitcoin to understand and purchase one of our BTC packages.
Right. All you have to do is get a Bitcoin wallet and put it in and just buy it just like you would buy a loaf of bread.
Exactly.
It's that simple. Okay. Let's get to how the Bitcoin package works, the BTC package. You know, USI has an incredible mining operation, and we have this thing called the BTC package. Now, here is where I need everybody to stop thinking about the way things were. And this is the way things are going to be. So show me that $100 bill real quick before we get started here.
I have props tonight.
She's got a props tonight. So we have a $100 bill. If you were to take this $100 bill and put it into a CD or an IRA or a savings account, this $100 bill would be your $100 bill, and your $100 bill would be in your account, and then the bank would use that money and go off and invest it for you or on your behalf, and then you would make money on that. Usually those accounts make anywhere from 1% a year to, at a high, 7, 8, 9, 10% a year, at the highest that you would probably see. A year.
A year, okay.
So that's how traditional investing works. Right now what we're going to do is show you how the USI-Tech BTC package works. Now, these two boxes here are examples of one BTC package. Now, a BTC package always has a value of 50 euro. Okay, we have that on the box, 50 euro. Now, remember, USI-Tech is a European company. They started in Europe and they expanded into the United States. So here we are in the United States, and the number one question I get is, Dan, why isn't it dollars? Because they had to set a standard. And that standard was the euro, because they're a company that's based over in Europe. So everything is always based on the euro. Now, for today's example, we're going to say that $1 equals 1 euro. And it's right about the same. It's about $1.20 right now, something like that. But for today's example, we're going to say that $1 equals 1 euro. So 2 BTC package would cost how much? $100, right?
Right.
Okay, so right now Patty is going to buy 2 BTC packages, and I'm going to take the $100 and I'm going to give Patty the 2 BTC packages, but look what happened. This is not like the traditional investment that we talked about a few minutes ago. What Patty did is she purchased 2 BTC packages from USI-Tech. Now USI-Tech has that $100, okay? This is not like an investment. This is not like a CD. Patty purchased a product just like you would go to the store and buy milk or bread.
Right.
Okay? So now Patty has 2 BTC packages, and let's talk about the magic of those 2 BTC packages. Once she has those packages, they go out into the marketplace, and they work in the USI-Tech cloud mining operations. And we are one of the largest cloud miners in the world right now. Okay? We have mining operations everywhere. Because Patty purchased these 2 packages, USI-Tech is going to pay Patty an average of 1% a day, an average of 1% a day, until these 2 BTC packages reach 140% of their original value. Let me say that one more time, just so everybody understands. She purchased the packages for $100. USI-Tech is going to pay her 1% every day until they reach 140% of their original value. Now, when I say every day, too, I mean every market day, every business day. So Saturday and Sunday don't count. It's 5 days a week. And then sometimes when there's, international holidays, we're off on those days. So 1% of $100. Everybody do your math real quick. I'd like you to put it in the chat box. How much is 1% of $100?
That's the easy part, guys.
That's the easy part. It's $1, right? So on day 1 that Patty has these BTC packages, look at that, she's got her hand out already, Patty is going to make $1 US, okay? On day 2, she's going to make 1 more US dollar. On day 3, 1 more. Now remember, I'm showing you this in dollars, but Patty is actually going to be paid in Bitcoin, okay? So you buy these with Bitcoin, because they're the BTC Bitcoin package, right? And then we will pay you back in Bitcoin as well. Okay, so I was on day 3. How about day 4, another $1, day 5, another $1, and we're going to keep going with this until day 100. I dropped the $100 bill. On day 100, Patty will have $100. But remember, she's only been 100% now. She's made 100% of her money back, but these 2 BTC packages have a value until they reach 140%. Okay, so on day 101, what does she get? Another $1. On day 102, what does she get? Another $1. Day 103, another $1, all the way out to day 140, and now Patty has $140. However, her BTC packages have expired, so they are no longer working in the marketplace, but Patty has made 40% on her money, right?
Right.
She started with 100, she now has $140, and that's about 6.5 months later. Okay.
40%, 6.5 months. And it's an average. So we showed it in a simple example of $1 a day, but it averages between 0.75 and 1.25.
Now that's pretty cool. And I think
Yes.
it's pretty simple the way that we talked about that. We have the Bitcoin packages working for us. We have the US dollar working for us. But there's something else.
There's more.
Something else. There's always a little bit more, right? And what we're going to talk about right now is the compounding effect. And we're going to talk about how the compounding effect can work against you. Okay, so Patty, why don't you do this one tonight?
Right. Okay. So a lot of you, I'd love for you guys to raise your hand if you've ever purchased a house or purchased a car. But if you purchase a house, let's say you buy a house for $250,000. Now, I remember doing this. I sat down at the closing table and, you know, I started signing all these documents. Let's say the house was $250,000. They told me my payment will be somewhere around $1,200 a month for 360 months. So I'm going to pay that for 30 years, okay? The thing that was most scary was that last box on this big piece of paper where at the end of my payments, at the end of the 30 years, I would have paid over $432,000. Now, these are round numbers, but it is about that kind of money. You pay almost double the amount of money because you have compounding working against you. Who's making all that money? The banks are. The big banks, the big institutions are making all of that money. Now, wouldn't it be nice to turn that around and for us to make that money, for us to be able to compound, you know, our money would be awesome.
And that's exactly what USI-Tech has done. It's going to show you, right now, we're going to show you how to become your own bank. Let's take a look at how the compounding effect can work for you instead of against you. Now, for this example, I'm going to start out with 20 BTC packages, which would be €1,000 or $1,000 in today's environment. So let's go ahead and start with 20 BTC packages on day one, and the value of that would be about 0.25 Bitcoin. Okay, so day one, 20 packages, about €1,000 or 0.25 Bitcoin. Now, if you turn on something that we call the automatic rebuy button, okay, and you let that automatic rebuy button, keep it on. Now, what does that mean? I call it kind of the smart button. But what it means is, remember that I paid Patty every single day? Every single day I gave her another $1. Well, every time she got to the point with her money that she could buy another package, then the system automatically buys you another package and it compounds those packages for you and you get more and more packages. Let me show you how that works. So you have the auto rebuy button, the smart button on. On day 140, you would have 78 packages worth 0.75 Bitcoin, about $2,500. Wow. See what happens if you leave it there for a whole year. On day 280, you would have 126 packages that would be worth 1.5 Bitcoin. That's about $6,000. So you started with $1,000. A year later, you could be up to as much as $6,000 just by having the compounding effect work for you. That is the power. That is the absolute power of this program, and that is why we are so excited about the program.
It's really amazing, and when people, you know, again, some people understand it, and that made total sense, and some people need some time to understand it. When they see their packages growing and growing, there's usually a wow kind of, I can't believe this. So it really does work that amazingly. But
the next thing, I know, but there's
I'd like
more. Okay, and let's talk about it a little bit more. You know, everybody that's on this broadcast tonight, and I can see there's thousands of people on the broadcast between Facebook and live stream, everybody that's on this broadcast was invited to the broadcast by somebody. Somebody told them about this opportunity. Somebody told them about this product and said, you know what, you might want to watch this tonight.
And here's the reason why. We get people that say, listen, I want to be able to make my money and I don't want to share it with other people. And it's those people that come back in a couple days, a week, a month later and say, wow, this is incredible. Somebody heard about it, so now I want to share it. And that's what we do. We talk about sharing and inviting and doing the same thing that somebody did for you. So somebody who thought of you, who cared about you, invited you to watch this overview so you could see what they're doing. Now, the company pays people to do this. So let's look at our pay plan so that you understand how we're paid to do this. First of all, for anybody that you invite, now you could come in and not buy anything. You've not purchased anything. But if somebody comes in and purchases one BTC package or 200 of them, you get 10% of that price.
That's 10%. If you invited them into the program.
If you invite them in, they sign up under you, they make a purchase, you get 10% of that.
Right.
Now let's say that person then is excited and goes out and invites more people. They invited another person. You get 3% of whatever that second level person comes in and purchases. And again, you haven't bought anything. Right. Now, it's hard for somebody to follow if you're not purchasing anything, but you don't have to. Now what happens with levels 3 through 12? Because you could get paid for levels 3 through 8 at 3%, and levels 9 through 12, you get 1%, but there is a qualification for that.
Right. And again, if that's something that you're interested, we'll go into it much later. You can talk to the person that invited you. There's also videos out there that I've done and several other people have done just on the pay plan. So you can watch a 10-minute video and you could really understand what all of those things are. So reach out to the person that invited you to the broadcast. They'd be happy to go over that with you. Or you could go on Facebook into our Facebook page, USI-USA, and you can see those videos in the video section.
Right, right.
So, the last thing I want to talk about tonight, though, is what if, people started out saying $5,000. And a lot of people say, Dan, I don't have $5,000. And then we used an example with $1,000. And some people come back and say, Dan, I don't even have $1,000.
Right.
So my last what if question is, what if you started out with just $100?
So $100, somewhere around $100 would be 2 BTC packages. If you took $100 today, if you said, you know what, I want to make sure I'm not in the situation that Dan and Patty found themselves in, take 2 BTC packages, $100. In 1 year, you'd have 10 BTC packages worth about $500. $500 in a year.
Right.
Now, what if you could wait longer? What if you could be patient and you said, look, I'm just going to forget about that $100 and let it keep growing. After 5 years, you'd have 2,000 BTC packages, and it'd be worth somewhere around $120,000. And again, that's just math.
Right.
We're talking about using math. But
again,
$120,000.
It's incredible. Now remember, this is an example for demonstration purposes only. Past performance does not guarantee future results, but this is how this product has been performing. So, if anything that Patty or I have said tonight, if anything that we showed you tonight makes any kind of sense to you, if you want to change your financial future, don't you think that you owe it to yourself to just take a look? Don't you think you should just take a look at these 2 incredible products that the USI-Tech has to offer?
And that is our BTC package, which we just spent the last 20 minutes explaining. And we also have our Forex algorithm, which is also performing at that 4.5% average per month. And just reach out to somebody and get your questions answered if you have them.
Thanks a lot for joining us tonight. For my incredible wife and partner, Patty Hunt, for Alexander Ferris, who's running the board behind the scenes tonight, I'm Dan Hunt. Have a wonderful rest of your day and an even better day tomorrow.